Hi, it's Hal from GamesRadar, and today I am joined by the illustrious Mr. Ben Starr.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. Well, I didn't really have a choice. You held me at gunpoint and you said, come and talk to me.
It's the firearms training.
It was the firearms training callback. No, thank you so much for having me.
Well, first off, big congratulations on the being invited to host the Golden Joystick Awards 2024.
What a cool thing.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about doing it.
What does it mean to you as a gamer, kind of being invited to host?
I think it is. I feel like I'm having an out-of-body experience that I'm allowed to do that. I mean, last year I was prepping myself to turn up and not win an award and just have a nice time.
Yeah.
And then I had this amazing night where, you know, the work that you spend a lot of time working on is you know, rewarded by the fans voting and saying they wanted it, and it was just this amazing experience. And then to be asked to come back and host the whole thing seems very surreal, but I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
As an actor, I spent most of my career pretending to be other people,
Yeah.
whereas I get to be on stage and I get to be myself, and I think that is one of the great things that the past year has allowed me to be, is like, because of the work of me pretending to be other people, I've had the opportunity to put a lot of myself out into the world, and to be able to be myself in front of like peers and people whose work I really respect in games that I've absolutely loved playing this year. I think it's going to be really cool, and you know, we're kind of the first ones out the gate to go, this is what 2024 means. You know, these are the games that have really affected us, and get to kind of put a flag in the sand and say, there you go, guys. These are the games that we're going to remember. These are the games that have affected us, you know, emotionally, that have kind of really, that we will take away from this year. These experiences is very cool to give out some shiny trophies.
Talking of the games that affected us, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a game that's up for nominations, but what games have affected you, have lasted with you, have given you that impression?
Oh, what a year. I have spoken a lot about Thank Goodness You're Here. I think it's a great video game. For me, the game that was right out of the gate was a game that I thought, this is going to be one of those games that I don't just remember for the rest of the year, but I remember for the rest of my life, is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
Okay.
I think it's such an expertly made video game, and I think the team who made it deserved better, but I think the team who made it did an incredible job, and it was one of those games that I lost hours and hours and hours of my life to, and I was the sadist who was I was torturing myself and doing all the really horrible, hard challenges, but I wanted to because the game was so fun to play.
Yeah.
It made me feel like it wasn't too difficult. I was the one, you know, who wasn't good enough for it, and the story was great, but the platforming was really amazing. But this year's been amazing for I think the breadth of experiences that we've had to us. You know, when you're looking at the nominees this year, you've got Balatro, which is this tiny little insane deck builder that has taken the world by storm, quite rightly so. You have these epic action games. You've got, you know, Black Myth Wukong, you've got Dragon Age, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, these games that you're just dedicating hours and hours of your life to in a narrative sense, and then you've got games that you're dedicating hours and hours of your life to because, you know, you want to get a card with a banana on it. Like it's really wonderful that we have that, and I think again this year has been so great for smaller experiences. I loved Indica this year. I thought that was amazing. From I think it was 11-bit who made Indica. Also, Crow Country. I'm a huge survival horror fan.
Right.
So to have like one of those video games that is a throwback to old school survival horror on all of its kind of like tank control glory and item management, I really loved, and I think it's been a really wonderful year for big, broad experiences, but smaller ones that you can complete in an afternoon.
Yeah, I imagine then you must have gotten really well with Silent Hill 2, the Silent Hill 2 remake.
Oh, I loved Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 is great. I had never played Silent Hill 2, so I don't come from... My survival horror pipeline is Resident Evil. And I did not play the Silent Hill franchise when it was first out because it was too scary. And I had always been told that Silent Hill 2 is not just one of the best games in the series, it's one of the best games of all time. And I thought, sure. And then I played it, and I thought, wow, I can only imagine what it must have been like to play the original back in the day with that story. I think the level of storytelling in that game is really, really remarkable. Well, the themes that it covers. Not only is it scary as hell, like that game uses sound design to the most incredible degree. I think the way it tells its story is so cool, and the themes that it was clearly exploring in the early 2000s, I think, is way ahead of its time, and it just feels so current. Also, this year, the performances, I think, in Silent Hill 2 are insanely good.
Yeah.
But all the performances across the board are fantastic, and the level of subtlety that they bring to it. You know, we've spoken a bit about performances in video games. I think that is a prime example of the way you can bring humanity to something in kind of doing nothing, and just like small facial movements and things are just really, really amazing.
Well, let's talk about that a bit more then. Talk about your experience as an actor.
Yes.
Kind of your history in that field, and then moving into video games and how you found that.
Yeah, so I always thought I was going to go into theatre. That's what I went to drama school, a place called LAMDA, and I thought I was going to go to the National Theatre or the RSC and do Shakespeare for my entire life. And then I kind of ended up in film and TV, which was great. It was very good to me, and I had a lovely time, and I was very fortunate to be on some really fun shows and work with some amazing actors. And then Final Fantasy came along, and then everything shifted. And I think it's kind of the clarification of my career, really. I love acting, and I love video games. So as soon as those two kind of just, you know, came into contact, that was it, really. I was done, and this is a place that I wanted to be. And I think that it's a medium that is advancing so fast, that to be a part of an industry that's growing, and we're still exploring the ways in which performance can be expressed through video games. It's such an exciting time to be there. And there are also so many aspects to performance in video games. So you can have performance capture, you can do essentially ADR, you know, voicing over the top of someone else's performance. You can do matching lips, you can have head cam where they map your face to something. You can do general VO, party talk, battle barks, all of this stuff. They are all different disciplines in the same job description. And it's so varied. And to learn all of those skills and to get better at all of those skills each time, it's really interesting. And also types of performance that are required. There are going to be some games which are going to require that incredibly subtle, human, pulled back approach. And there are going to be others where you've got to be camp as hell. And that's cool. Like, I've been very fortunate to be in Hades 2, and to be able to go from, take what I did in Final Fantasy and then kind of transpose that into the key of Hades has been really fun. The note was the Princess Bride, you know, like it's amazing to get to do that. And I think what Supergiant are doing is so brilliant, because there is such a great humanity to everything that they do, even though it's about gods. But there is a speed and a kind of a muscularity to their work. And there are so many other games that, you know, you get to be kind of wild and crazy and stupid in, and that's equally as valid no matter what the game.
The question is, if you could play any role or play any character in any game, what would it be?
That already exists?
Yeah.
So my answer to that, there is one answer that I always give, and then I always give a follow-up answer.
Okay.
The answer that I always give is Raziel in Legacy of Kain. I would love to do that. And then my second answer is always, but I think we need more franchises that are new. And the most exciting thing about that I've done in my career is build a character from the ground up.
Yes.
And I think it's very easy for us to look back and say, these are the reason I say Raziel is because that is a character that has been crafted so brilliantly from the ground up by a team. And so what I want to do is work on projects which I get to do that myself and have that same creative freedom and not live in someone's shadow. It's like me saying I enjoy the work that they've done. I wish I could emulate that feeling, that emotion. So as much as I would love to be Raziel, I would also love to do a character that has that same effect on people in the same way that character's had an effect on me.
Are there any performances that have stuck with you
this year?
Or in general?
In general, yes, there are performances that have stuck with me in general. I really love my good friend Abu Bakr Salim as Bayek. I think is incredible. Considering he kind of comes out the gate and how raw, you know, the Assassin's Creed franchise is well known for iconic protagonists. And I think for Bayek to stand out is really cool. And I think that he makes some really, really brave choices with that character of where to go and kind of making him like dangerous and in ways unlikable. Which is really cool, but like completely understandable. You know, when you lose your entire family in front of you, what are you going to do? But I think his performance is amazing. I think video games in general provide a platform for us as actors and us as players to explore characters in ways that other mediums can't. You never get to spend 40 to 100 hours with a character at once. We are living with them. Like Doug Cockle, Geralt of Rivia. It's like it's absolutely iconic. Like I could hear Doug grunt for about 5 seconds, and I would know exactly who that is because his voice is like absolutely imprinted into my brain. Pretty amazing. I mean, anyone from The Last of Us. You know, when you go like, I lived and breathed those games. Those performances, just raw and so out there, and that's just the great thing about video games is. We get to see such a variety of emotions, and as actors, that's the joyful thing: is to get to explore those in a safe way.
But first things first, Golden Joystick Awards.
Yes.
So,
do I want to host them? No. No, I'm good. I'm backing out now.
Well, don't let them hear that because I'm about to congratulate you again on hosting, and we'll see you there.
You'll see me there.
Really love to meet you, pal.
Thank you.